الله وبركاته. After the Prophet ﷺ and the Muslims won the Battle of Badr, and after the Prophet ﷺ besieged the tribe of Bani Qaynuqa', the Jews, and he ordered them to leave, and he sent them to their exile in Sham, and they were Jews. One Jew who was so rich and powerful started to annoy the Muslims and disrespect the agreements between him and them. He was so frustrated when he learnt that the leaders of Quraysh were killed, were slain on the Battle of Badr. And he was outraged. The kings of the Arabs, the rulers of Quraysh, and for whom? For a bunch of no one of Muslims, so-called Muslims.
It was like a shock.
It was a severe shock and blow to him, to the extent that he went in mourning to the people of Quraysh, giving his respects and sympathies, and trying to provoke them to come and fight and avenge the dead ones. And he was telling them that you had no right to lose, you shouldn't have lost. They are no one, they're farmers, they're a bunch of nothing. So they asked him a straight question, as a Jew, as a scholar of the books, the Old Testament. Who's on the right path and track? Is it Muhammad and the Muslims? Or are we on the right path and track? Who's better at the side of Allah? Now, any fair and just person would tell them that those who worship one God, who worship Allah Azza wa Jal, are far greater than those who worship 360 idols. So you pagans by no means are close to him. Yet because of his arrogance, he said, no, of course, you are way better than he is. And that is why Allah revealed the verses of the Qur'an condemning his actions and condemning his false testimony that the pagans are better than the monotheists, are better than those who worship Allah alone. And when he went back to Medina, this was not the end of it. He started saying poetry, condemning Muslims, slandering them, ridiculing their religion. And also, he started saying love poems against the ladies of the Muslims, the wives of the companions, their daughters. And this was outrageous, because, as you recall, poetry was the prevailing media
at that time
tool at the time. So the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, to his companions, this man's name was Ka'b ibn al-Ashraf, the Jew. So he said to his companions, who would relieve me from his nuisance? Who would relieve Islam from his evil acts? So Muhammad ibn Maslama said, I'll do that with honor, Prophet of Allah. And he chose 4 other men with him. But he requested the Prophet ﷺ permission to say something that would, in other circumstances, be considered to be things that nullify a person's religion, person's belief in Islam. So the Prophet ﷺ gave him this permission. This was an assassination attempt against this enemy of Islam. And before we go on, the normal question would be, is assassinating people acceptable in Islam? Well, generally, no. But this was not an assassination attempt. He was not, the Prophet ﷺ was not killing him for the sake of killing. He had to be executed. There's no doubt in that, because he did not honor the agreements, and he was slandering Islam, and he was ridiculing the Qur'an, and he was talking about the female companions of the Prophet ﷺ in a bad way. And you remember, when you...
It's like a state crime against...
Excuse me?
It's a state crime.
Yes.
Oh, no.
And by itself, when someone talks bad about a woman, by talking bad we mean he accuses this woman of adultery. This is unacceptable in Islam. Any person who talks about a Muslim woman and says, I've seen her having sex with a man, or she is a prostitute, or she is this or that, which is an insult to her honor and dignity. If he does not bring forward 4 witnesses, he should be lashed 80 times for what he said. So if he brought only 3 witnesses, that's not enough. He has to bring 4 witnesses that seen the actual act. So this Ka'b ibn Ashraf needed to be executed. The Prophet could have easily, ﷺ, go there and executed him. But he did not want his fellow Jews to stand up, which would cause more bloodshed. He wanted the Prophet ﷺ to minimize the casualties, not from the Muslim side. We have the upper hand, but from their side, because he would be defended by his people, and lots of his people would die. They did not have a hand in what he did. It's his own responsibility. So the Prophet ﷺ sent Muhammad ibn Maslama. Muhammad ibn Maslama went to Ka'b ibn Ashraf. And he said, Ka'b, you know me, I know you, we've been friends for so long. This man, he's a pain in the neck. He's been asking us to pay charity and sadaqah and zakat, purdu. We don't have money. All what he asks is for money and money, money. So Ka'b ibn Ashraf relaxed a little bit and said, well, you haven't seen nothing yet. There is more to come. This man is going to do this and that for you. So Muhammad ibn Maslama said, Ka'b, you're a rich man. Can you lend us some money? So he told him, yes, I can lend you some money, but what would you give me as a guarantee that you're going to pay me back? Or what we call as mortgage. So what would it be?
So it was like a trick or something?
Yes, they wanted him to feel safe and secure. So Muhammad ibn Maslama told him, what do you want as guarantee? So Ka'b said, give me your women. Keep your women with me. And when you pay me back, I'll give you your women back. So Muhammad told him, are you crazy? You're one of the most handsome Arabs around. How would you want us to guarantee our wives and daughters with you? You will seduce them by no way, no other way. So he told them, okay, then keep your children, your kids, as a guarantee in my fortress. And Muhammad ibn Maslama said, again, this is unacceptable, because our sons will be slandered till they die that they've been given as a guarantee for a dollar or two, for a dirham or a dinar. So this is an insult to them. So Ka'b asked them, then what is your guarantee then? He told him, I think that the best guarantee for us is our armor and swords and knives. We're going to get you the weaponry. This would be as mortgage to us and to guarantee that we're going to pay you back.
I actually heard the tradition of Arabs is that if a man did not carry his weapon, he was considered foolish. So was this like this offering was like as big as the deposit of the wives and the children?
No, it wasn't at all, because your weapon, you can buy them on the market. So when they went to Ka'b and told him that we will give you our weaponry, this was a security for him. And this was a trick from their side to come to him with full armor, wearing their swords, and so that they can assassinate him, yes, and kill him on the spot. And they were justified to do so, because we're bringing you your guarantee. So he approved of that. And they went, they brought their armor and weapons, and they came at night. And he was a newlywed. So they called him from below his fortress. Ka'b ibn al-Ashraf. And he left the bed to go and answer them. His wife said, "Where are you going? It's the middle of the night. And I hear a voice with blood pouring down out of it." This woman was so smart. She recognized from the voice, from the tone of the voice, that this was not good. I don't feel it's safe for you to go. He said, "Wait, who are you talking about? This is Muhammad ibn Maslama, my brother. He's my buddy, he's my friend. And with him is Abu Na'ilah. He is my brother from suckling." So, and beside all of that, a brave boy like me, if he is invited to be stabbed at night, he would answer. This is something to be proud of. He was saying this out of arrogance. So he went down to them. They showed him the weapons, and he felt okay. So they talked for a while, the Arabs, the poetry, and the bravery, and so on. And they said, "Why not take a round around the fortress, around your castle? Just walk right here and there." So he agreed. While they were walking, they said, somebody took a smell and said, "Wow, what a nice smell." And immediately he was, double in size. He said, "Yes, I just married one of the most beautiful women who wears the most beautiful perfumes of Arabia." So his brother said, "Can I smell it?" So he gave him his head, and he smelled his hair. And they walked for a while. And then he said, "Can I do that again? The smell is so beautiful." And he was happy, being flattered by people. So he gave his head again. And they walked for a while. And the third time, he said, "Can I have a smell?" He said, "Yeah, sure." So he put his hand in his hair and grabbed him really well. And all the four started stabbing him until he died. They went back to Medina. And from the outskirts of Medina, they cried, saying, "Allahu Akbar." The Prophet heard this, and he was enjoying. He said, "Allahu Akbar, your faces have succeeded." And they said, "Your face has succeeded, O Prophet of Allah. We managed to kill Ka'b ibn al-Ashraf." And this was the end of this evil enemy of Islam. And this happened once or twice. Whenever the Prophet ﷺ did not, or whenever the Prophet found people who did not honor their agreements with him, and lots of chaos would be caused if an army went to them, he would send people to get rid of them because they deserve to be executed. I'm afraid that this is all the time we have for today's program. Inshallah, until we meet next time, fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Mm-hmm.